everybody. It's Diane from Current Words Publishing, and today is the last day of April. So I thought it might be fun to come on and talk to you about what's going to happen tomorrow in May, which is the new issue of Instant Noodles is going to come out. And I thought, okay, maybe some of you have no idea how a magazine like this gets made. So I'll tell you a little bit about it. So let me share screen here. So if you want to get published in Instant Noodles, and usually with most magazines too, if you want to get published in a magazine or a literary journal or something like that, you have to find the submission page. And so if you go to Instant Noodles, you actually want to go to the submission page, which we have current issue, past issues, submission, and about. And so you want to go to the submission page. And if you look down there, you'll see what's going on with Instant Noodles this year, what the themes are, and how you can apply to be a part of Instant Noodles. And then after you apply, you will click on this click button here to submit, or you'll click on this big button here to submit. They go to the same place. And you will find yourself in a website called Duotrope. Duotrope is a place for people to submit their work to literary magazines, to contests, to anybody who's looking for some sort of creative endeavor. It doesn't cost you anything to join Duotrope. It's pretty easy to figure out, and you can keep track of all your submissions there. And then they come into the submission manager for me, which is the Duosima part. So Duosima is the submission manager. So when I first started Instant Noodles, I was doing it all by myself. I was reading through all of the submissions. I remember one of the first or second issues that I did had over 100 submissions, and it took me a long time to read through them all because for poems you can submit a few pieces, and the fiction and nonfiction were a little bit longer because I hadn't really thought through the idea of a length requirement yet. And it took me quite a long time to read through all of those submissions. And now I've enlisted help. I've got this Old Scratch Press. Oh, and this is a new page on the Old Scratch Press website that they have talking about news about the members. But the Old Scratch Press is a collective of people who have been published by Instant Noodles. That's how I met them. I met them through them publishing for Instant Noodles, and I was looking for a way to try to do more for poetry and short form writers. And it's a hard sell, selling a complete book of poetry. People who aren't hardcore poetry lovers, you know, to get them to buy a book of poetry takes a little bit of effort. Not that they wouldn't enjoy it, because poetry is amazing. But the Old Scratch Press collective came together from Instant Noodles. I had met them there. I liked their writing. Didn't know them as human beings, but I pretty much opened it up to most of the people who had submitted and gotten published by Instant Noodles and asked them if they'd like to be a part of it. And after the press got going, we decided that the press should now curate Instant Noodles, which they do. So instead of me doing all the selecting by myself, the members of the press select the pieces, which is great. So if you take a look here in Duosima, this was for the issue called Instant, which is right here, Instant. Okay, this is volume 4, issue 1. So that was the first issue of last year, Instant Noodles, volume 4, Instant. And if you look, when we started off Instant Noodles, the call was instant and the status is Annie. We had 56 submissions. We started off with 56 submissions. And then if you say, well, how many did you accept? It goes down to 23. So it absolutely halved it for this one. So half of the submissions that got submitted were chosen. And that could be visual, That could be short form nonfiction, that could be short form fiction, or that could be poetry. What happened to those other 23 people? Why didn't they get chosen? Probably because they either blew past the topic. So maybe in their piece, we couldn't find anything that resonated with the idea of instant, right? It's kind of broad, instant. It can be a lot of things. It doesn't have to be noodles at all. So probably they either blew past the theme or they blew past the length requirement. Sometimes people submit stuff to us that's already been published someplace else, and Instant Noodles doesn't do that. We don't recycle writing or art. We like stuff that has not been published before. So it could be any of those things. And of course, the one that never wanted to be is that it wasn't well written, it wasn't well produced. If it was a piece of art, that happens occasionally, but much more often it tends to be that folks have blown past the length requirement or blown past the theme. So when you apply for any kind of magazine that you want to be in, think about that and make sure that you are not just throwing balls at the wall, that you have tailored your piece. And I know that takes some effort, but that's why you join Duosma, so they can send you opportunities that match the kind of writing that you're doing. And if you submit something that's good, then you're going to get picked and chosen and published. And that is what happened to these people. They got published in, we have, this is a piece of art that showed up in Instant. This is a poem that I really liked that showed up in Instant. Things That Sound Like Gunshots by Michelle Meyer. I thought this was a brilliant little poem. It never mentions the word instant, which is kind of cool, right? But then how does it hit the theme? It hits the theme because all of these things are things that are sort of fast like that, right? A wine glass shattering is fast. Fireworks, fast. Door slamming, fast. A book dropped on the floor, fast, right? So sort of instant things like that. And that idea of the sound all being the same, even though they're so different. So that was really cool for me, and I really liked it, and could not wait to publish it. One thing that we like to do for the writers that publish with us, if they are interested in doing it, and you can see here, let's take a look at Crunch Time by Penelope Flynn. There is a player here. And so Penelope was able to read her piece, and I think she just read it into her phone and made an MP4 out of it on probably the note section or something like that of her phone, and sent it off to Dave, and Dave can toss up this audio player here.
Crunch Time, written and narrated by Penelope Flynn.
And there you go. You can hear Penelope read Crunch Time to you. It adds a little extra something. It's kind of nice. So I really like doing that too. And as we have grown, I am the one currently, the old scratch press people are planning to learn, but currently I'm the one who does all the technical stuff aside from the player that Dave puts in for the issue. So if you go to the last issue, which is Holiday Nudes, we have our sexy couple in their noodle cup hot tub there. We've changed up the menu a little bit, right? So we have these little pieces of art here for something that is a piece of art instead of a written piece, or something that is a piece of art with writing. Sometimes there's both. So Jane Fitzgerald here has given us all three. Jane hit a home run here. She's got her player so we can hear her reading. She's got her writing, and she's got this piece of art that she made to go with it. Yeah, Jane's a lot of fun. I like Jane. So we have little those old-fashioned microphones for pieces where you can listen to them. We have little paintings for pieces that have art on them, and you can navigate through the issue that way. And then you can always go back to the cover. And for the covers, Dave and I pretty much work on the covers together. Dave very kindly executes my vision most of the time. And so this one, since it was called Holiday Nudes, was the theme. We always try to do funny stuff around the holidays because everybody needs to lighten up at the end of the year. So, I told Dave I basically wanted somebody. I think the image I gave him was like the naked man wearing the barrel. I wanted something like that. He came up with this. Very funny, right? Very funny. And our first issue, we didn't really know what we were doing, so we just took a photograph of some noodle cups. We're big fans of cup noodle, so we just took a photo with some of the stuff that we had around our house. Let's see. This one, Hot Fun in the Summertime, is a song by Sly and the Family Stone, and it may be my favorite summer song. I love Sly. And I asked Dave for something that looked like the Statue of Liberty on the beach from the end of the Planet of the Apes with a set of chopsticks, because noodles, right? So Dave and I come up with the covers. I envision them, and he tries to bring my vision to life, and he does a really wonderful job. And it's a lot of fun for me doing the covers. So all of the past issues are there. You can scroll through them and you can look at them. Our authors will be there in perpetuity, and our artists, unless they don't want to be, they can always contact me. That's the beauty of digital magazine, is they can always contact me and say, I don't really want it up there anymore, and I can take it down. It doesn't cost anything to be in Instant Noodles. Some publications, and some of our publications that we have had in the past, some of our anthologies have had reading fees. And I know a lot of authors don't like them, but it is very expensive to put out a print anthology. And if you get double the submissions that you need, and half of them blow past either in length or in theme, it's a lot of work to read through all of those and turn them down. And so those submission fees, they just help keep the lights on. They just help keep the business going so that it can offer those opportunities. But Instant Noodles, I have to have internet anyway, have to have a website anyway. So I kind of view this as all that it costs me is time. So it doesn't cost anything to submit. It doesn't cost anything to read. It's free to enjoy, and it will be there in perpetuity as long as I am here, which I hope will be in perpetuity. And yeah, this is the 5th year. Let me see, volume 5, starting tomorrow. And we are thinking, the Old Scratch Press team and myself are thinking about ending year 5 with a print anthology that might be the best of. So we're kicking around that idea, seeing if we can work it out. But yeah, tomorrow comes the new issue, Current. And just because you're nice enough to watch my video, I will give you a sneak peek. Protected, see? It's up there, but it's password protected. And here it comes. You can see a little bit of it behind me. The Instant Noodles cover for May of 2025 for the topic, the theme, current. There it is. The Instant Noodles paper boat being sailed by the Old Scratch Press crew down the stream. And here we have our pieces on the side here. Fantastic. There is art. There is bio of the contributors. There is art. There is people reading their work. There is poems, there is creative nonfiction, there is fiction, and it's all free. So all you have to do is go to instant noodles with an S, litmag.com, or go to the Current Words website or Facebook page. There'll be ways to get to it from there. And tomorrow you will be able to read the whole new issue of Instant Noodles. Very exciting. Thank you for spending this time with me. I hope you enjoyed learning. I hope you enjoyed learning about how a literary magazine gets made. And I hope that you'll stop back tomorrow and read Instant Noodles.